Welcome to Chapter 3. We will continue to study how atoms arrange themselves in solids and what material properties are affected by this. In this chapter, you will learn how atoms assemble into different structures and how this influences the microstructure and properties of materials. The focus will be on metallic crystal structures. We have to start by understanding the different ways atoms arrange themselves. Atoms in monoatomic gases have no regular ordering. Other gases, liquids, and some solids have short-range order, which means the special arrangement of the atoms extends only to the nearest neighbors. Then, most metals, semiconductors, and some polymers exhibit long-range order. They have a crystalline structure in which the atomic arrangement extends over much larger length scales. Here we have two examples. Silica and polyethylene are both considered amorphous. One is a ceramic and the other one a polymer. In the middle, you see silicon single crystals. They are used in most electronic devices and can grow to be more than a foot long. To the right is a photomicrograph of a steel sample. Each grain is a single crystal. You can see how grains are clearly separated from each other by a boundary. Polycrystalline materials, such as the steel shown in the previous slide, are usually formed during solidification. A few single crystals solidify first, and they serve as nucleation sites. Then they keep growing until solidification is completed. Note the disordered arrangement around grain boundaries. You will learn more about the importance of grain size and grain boundaries in Chapter 4. The way to model crystalline solids is to assume atoms behave as hard spheres. Think tennis balls or basketballs. Then, the different ways atoms can arrange themselves becomes relatively simple to model. This representation on the right shows the position of the centers of the atoms. These crystal systems can be easily described by a unit cell. A unit cell is the smallest subdivision of a crystal structure that can recreate the entire lattice. In this 2D example, a simple square with one atom at each corner is enough to describe the atomic arrangement in the entire lattice. The same can be done in a 3D structure. In the hypothetical example of the 2D crystal of atoms of the same time, 1/4 of an atom in each corner equals 1 atom in the unit cell. For 3D structures, unit cells are described by 6 geometrical parameters called the lattice parameters, 3 lengths, A, B, and C, and 3 angles, alpha, beta, and gamma, as you can see in the figure. For example, to describe the geometry of a cube, only one parameter is needed, the length of the side of the cube, since all the angles are 90 degrees. This figure here shows the different crystal structures and their unit cell geometries. As you move down the figure, more parameters are needed to describe crystal systems that are less symmetric. Metallic crystal structures are the simplest, since there is only one type of atom involved. Most metals have one of the 4 crystal structures listed here: simple cubic, face center cubic, body center cubic, and hexagonal close packed. There are some important characteristics and parameters about each of the 4 metallic structures that are important to know and that we will discuss in class in more detail. For the purpose of this video, the most relevant one is the atomic packing factor, APF, which represents the fraction of a cell that is occupied by the atoms. The following slides provide a short introduction to the main structures found in metals. The first of these structures is the simple cubic. It is the simplest of all, with 1 atom in each corner. It is not very common. Notice that the atomic factor is only 52%. This means only 52% of the cell's volume is occupied by atoms. The rest is considered empty space. Then we have the BCC, or body center cubic. In this case, an atom is located in the center of the cell. The atomic packing factor is 0.68, or 68%, much denser packing than in the simple cubic. In a face-center cubic structure, FCC, there are atoms in each corner and in the center of each of the 6 faces. Notice how the atomic factor is 74%. This is the highest packing factor for metals. The hexagonal close-packed structure also has an atomic factor of 0.74, 74%. Note how the unit cell is only one-third of the structure, as it is the simplest way of describing the arrangement. The packing of atoms influences many material properties. Density is one of them. In average, metals are much denser than ceramics. This is mostly because they are heavier elements, and the metallic bonding allows for tighter packing of the atoms. Ceramics have lower densities due to the presence of lighter elements. Polymers are light since they are, for the most part, amorphous. And composites will have a wide range of densities, but never as high as metals. We are done with the first part of the chapter. In part 2, you will learn how many physical properties such as ductility and strength are influenced by the crystal structure. Make sure to review the additional handouts posted on Blackboard. They have a lot of extra information that is not on this video.